Thousands of Nairobi residents walk past statues and monuments that silently tell the story of Kenya's past. From the towering figures of freedom heroes like Dedan Kimathi, Tom Mboya, and Ronald Ngala, to hidden landmarks tucked within the city center, these monuments preserve moments that shaped a nation. But while some are instantly recognized, others remain largely unnoticed despite carrying deep historical significance. Michael Gongo takes you through Nairobi's forgotten moments and monuments, from symbols of independence and sacrifice to a teeny-tiny stone near the General Post Office that once marked the very center of distance and direction in Kenya.
They stand across Nairobi, etched into streets, roundabouts and sidewalks. Dedan Kimathi, remembered for resisting colonial rule. Tom Mboya, celebrated for shaping Kenya's modern future. Ronald Ngala, honored as one of the country's key independence figures. Their monuments have become familiar symbols of patriotism and national identity.
Kimathi, Ronald Ngala, na Tom Mboya, I think I don't know.
But beyond the famous statues lies another monument that many pass without understanding its meaning. The Native War Memorial along Kenyatta Avenue. Built in 1924, the monument commemorates African soldiers and carriers who fought for the British Empire during the First World War.
Imagine hizi vitu hata sijui. Mimi upita tu hapa naziona, naona wanachukua silaha. I think ni wale watu ambao walipigana vita ya Kenya.
Hii ni World War ya Wakenya wenye walienda kupigana World War. Vile wanaonekana hivyo, watu wengine hawaelewi kwa sababu wanaona ni kama mashujaa wenye walipigania uhuru.
At its center stands three figures: a porter, an askari and a gun carrier, none identified by name. Yet together they symbolize thousands of Africans drawn into a war far from home.
They're actually under the KAR, King's African Rifle. And, at that time it was very difficult pronouncing King's African Rifle, so we just called it KAR. These carriers, carrier corps, yeah? And because, again, Africans had a problem in pronunciation or pronouncing that word, carrier corps, they just renamed it carrier corps.
Historians estimate that more than 50,000 African soldiers and porters lost their lives during the East African campaign.
Most of them were killed. But when the wars ended, the white man was heavily compensated with land in the highlands.
Just a few meters away, near Nairobi's General Post Office, commonly known as the GPO, stands another forgotten landmark, small, easy to miss, but historically significant. The Galton Fence Stone, erected in 1939, is often referred to as Nairobi's Point Zero. For decades, it served as the reference point from which distance across Kenya and East Africa were measured.
Galton Fence was an explorer. He's one of the first people to drive from Nairobi to Mombasa by road. And it took 15 days. Those days there were no roads. That was in 1929. There were no roads those days. The road was bumpy, hilly. So he wanted to explore, he wanted to know the distance between Mombasa to Nairobi or Nairobi to Mombasa.
From Nairobi to Mombasa, Kajiado, Nanyuki, Moyale, and even regional destinations such as Juba, Khartoum, Cairo, and Dar es Salaam. The monument honors Lionel Douglas Galton Fence, founder of Nairobi's branch of the Royal East Africa Automobile Association in 1919. Today known as the AA of Kenya.
There are people who establish so many things in this country that Kenyans don't know. And historians should now start relishing some of these things, bringing them back to life so that Kenyans can understand what these ancient people used to do.
That there's not been a deliberate effort to actually make this as part of a curriculum. okay? Part of our history. Well, it's documented, but is it part of a curriculum?
As Nairobi grows taller and busier, many of its monuments risk fading into the background. Yet hidden within them are stories of sacrifice, struggle, exploration, and identity. Fragments of history standing quietly in the middle of every life.
Let us have our historians, professors of history in this country, writing books, telling Kenyans about these installments. What are these monuments about? You see, it's not just a blog. People will think that gentleman was buried here. No.
From the heroes of independence to forgotten soldiers and the city's original point zero, Nairobi's monuments continue to preserve a story of a nation built in stone. A reminder that sometimes history is not only found in books, but right next to us on the streets we use every day. Mike Kagwango, TV 47, Nairobi.
Yes, indeed, the Mike Kagwango, rich seam of information there. And of course, we get to learn a lot from the monuments and of course also from history itself. Right.